Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Shannon Alford. I am the Maryland State Liaison with the National Rifle Association Institute for Legislative Action. In deference to the late hour, I will try to keep my comments as brief as possible. I just wanted to address some of the things that were offered by the sponsors panel. I will tell you that as someone who attends many, many meetings at National Rifle Association headquarters, if you think the presence of firearms stifles free and open debate, I would encourage you to come to one of those meetings, because we certainly debate each other quite loudly and while armed. I also wanted to point out one thing. Correlation and causation are two entirely different things. And one of the advocates pointed out that since Colorado allowed campus carry of firearms, that forcible rapes had gone up 36%. Well, I looked, and in the same year that the Colorado Court of Appeals forced the University of Colorado to allow campus carry, Colorado also legalized marijuana. I'm not saying there's a relationship. I'm saying correlation and causation are two different things. You can easily find correlations between many, many things that are absolutely unrelated to each other. Finally, the primary point that I want to make here is that while there are some excellent exceptions in the amendments to this bill, the exceptions do not cover all of the potential scenarios. Again, as we've pointed out more than once, even if the judge gives you a suspended sentence and a $1 fine, you will lose your firearms rights under federal law for the rest of your life. Also, one point I did want to make, the section that excludes private property unless it's being used for public housing or for student housing is, we believe, somewhat confusing. For example, my alma mater, St. Mary's, go Seahawks, once had to renovate their residence halls during the academic year, and so they moved the population from that residence hall on campus to the local Days Inn. Would an individual private citizen staying in a room down the hall from that Days Inn be allowed to possess a firearm? And how would that person, who is presumably from out of town because they're staying in a Days Inn, even be aware of Maryland law in this particular regard, or the fact that it was being used as campus housing? There's just a lot of issues that I think need to be addressed with this bill, and we would urge an unfavorable report.